So this is my first time ever really even recording anything like this, and this is a brand new YouTube channel. Because I don't really think I want people I know to be seeing this, and it's more of an anonymous outlet for me. But I just I need somewhere to vent, and I think this is good for me. So if you happen to stumble upon this video, welcome. I do want to say I'm sharing my own life experiences here, and I'm not a professional on anything. So just a way for me to vent and maybe find some people that might have like similar things in life or going down the same path as me. So today I kind of wanted to talk about some of the best advice I've actually received in my life, and this was just a few months ago. I had a really big shift in my life. I had a really big decision to make, and normally I don't ask people for advice. When I do, in the back of my head, I'm really just looking for a lot of clarification or validation on an idea I've already built. So I could ask someone for advice about a relationship, for an example, on if things are good, bad, if I should end them or not. And in the back of my head, I already have my mind made up. And I normally just am looking for someone to tell me that what I'm thinking is right. But for the first time, I was unsure. And I asked my dad, of all people, for some advice. And he gave me some of the best life changing for me advice that I think I've received up to this point. I was talking about a relationship, and I wasn't in a good spot. I, looking back at it, now realize I was in a relationship that made me devalue myself. A relationship where I was truly dependent on somebody. And that's a big change for me to actually be able to notice that. Normally, I would say I'm very nose blind or just blind in general, I guess, when I'm in a relationship. And I called my dad up and explained my situation to him. So he just kind of stopped me after I explained a lot of things. My dad's not really a serious guy, and he doesn't really know how to talk to me correctly a lot of the time. But I love him, and I love him for that. But I kind of explained that I did feel devalued and I wasn't having a good time, and I was kind of just trying to explain the reasons as to why I felt. Um, and he kind of stopped me after a good probably 20 minutes of me explaining things to him. And he just asked me, he said, "Avery, are you happy?" And I responded with no. I wasn't. And I knew I wasn't. But I was in what I would call a crutch relationship. I didn't know what I would do without this person because I've built too much of my life around them. I don't really think that I had a chance in my life at my age. I just turned 21, or gave myself the chance to go out and be myself, and find who I was before I really settled down into something serious. And I think that led me to not being happy. But it also led me to being stuck in a situation I didn't want to be stuck in. And I didn't know how to navigate it because I didn't know what my life looked like outside of it anymore. My dad stopped me, like I said, and asked if I was happy. And when I responded no, he said, "What's the point then?" For me, a little bit of backstory here on me. I'm from a really small countryside state here in the U.S. I went to a school and graduated with about 90 kids, and I've always been a really shy, quiet person. I've not wanted to be that person for a really long time, but going to a school where I graduated with 90 kids and I knew all of these people for 13 years of my life, because this building's K through 12, it was really hard for me to become social, and that's something I've always wanted. Um, so I guess I'm trying to relate that to what my dad had told me on happiness. And he was kind of just like, he kind of just laid it out for me. He got really serious compared to what I'm used to, but he was like, you're going to die one day. He said, time's ticking. I don't want to worry you. He goes, but you can tell you're getting older too. Don't waste your life doing something that doesn't make you happy because you're wasting it otherwise. And I never really thought about it. I don't like to get existential. I don't really like to think about all these different things when it comes to, am I wasting my time or am I not? But that's because it's uncomfortable and that's a challenge to me. And I was too comfortable in a situation I didn't want to be in. So unfortunately, in that moment, I needed to face some things that I had been neglecting facing. And he kind of told me, I think this is where my story with my school experience kind of comes in here, is that I've always been a quiet kid. I've always done it by the books, you know. I feel like there's this general idea that there is one path in life, at least to me, and maybe if you're watching this video, you can relate to this. If not, just tell me how crazy I am, I guess. But I just had this idea in my head that I needed to follow this strict set of rules to be happy. And in reality, that set me up for failure. And that's kind of where I am today, not failing, but realizing that mistake. My dad told me my whole life I've been following some kind of rule book, and that was fine while I was in high school, and I did have certain things to follow. And don't get me wrong, I'm in college now and I'm working and I have these important things in my life still that have rules to them. But he really explained to me that life doesn't have rules. And that kind of took me out of a mindset I've been in for 20 years. He was telling me that I need to live a life that makes me happy, not a life that I think will make me happy. And that really hit home for me. Ever since I broke up with my last partner, I've been trying to figure out what happy means to me, because in my life, unfortunately, I need to admit that I think I've been using relationships as a crutch of happiness. And I'm getting to a point in my life where I'm realizing that if I want a relationship, I want something real, and I need to face the problems that I've made for myself when it comes to them. And my first step on that is finding who I am and not neglecting myself anymore. I've started to go out a lot more and do things alone. I took myself out to eat alone for the first time. I've taken myself to the movies, or taken myself to the movies, but I've just found a lot more about myself and found that a relationship isn't what's going to make me happy. And I know that sounds cliche, and I know that might be so obvious to some people, but to me, I had my mind wrapped around this idea my whole life that a relationship is what would make me happy. And that's just not the truth. So I think I just wanted to get on here today and kind of air my mind out. My head's kind of been really loud the past couple days, but I just wanted to share that advice that life doesn't have rules, and you need to make the rules yourself. Don't follow the rules that someone else gave you. Follow the rules that work for you. And I don't know if anyone else needs to hear that. Maybe that's just a me thing, but I at least wanted to share it because it meant a lot to me and it's done a lot for me. Right now, I'm definitely trying to recover from a past relationship, but at the same time, I think mentally I have some of the most like mental clarity moments that I think I've ever had in my life. And I'm proud to say that. That's a sign of growth for me. But at the same time, it's kind of scary. But I think for the first time in my life, I'm okay with being scared, because I think behind what is uncertain to me right now is a lot more happiness. So yeah, if I can leave you with anything today, I think I would just say, don't let people tell you how to live your life. Don't live a life that others live, because it won't work for you. You need to live the life that you need and that you want. So yeah, that was my first episode of AP Yaps. So I hope you all enjoyed.